I'm back. Let's grab the box. YZ-091, the third part. We're going to knock it over this time. Now, when I left you last time, we had the front suspension and everything on ready. The rear was sitting over here. It's on. I took the liberty of attaching it just before, mainly because I thought we were already recording. So you've missed out on that, but it's exactly the same as the front, except it's at the rear. Now, well, let's get back to where we should be. Steering parts now. Oh, the Z bend wire. It's one of the. Oh, it's not a quality thing. It's far from a quality thing, but it's the way it was back then. So Yokomo opted to continue with it. So I shall too. Well, let's get things moving. At the right side? Have I started off wrong already? That's correct. Just got to turn this. It's not well defined, but there is a hex recess in here. Just push that down in there. That's good. Ball stud. Where are you, ball stud? Ah, it's hiding inside the spring. Let's get this going now. Because we've done the majority of the car now. All we really have left is to do the steering, the top deck, and the shocks. And I'll let you into a little secret. Let's delve into here. There's some shocks already done. Like turnbuckles, you don't want to see me build 4 shocks on camera, so they were done offline. Here we go, the little cam thing on the servo saver. Tried and true, very simple thing, but it works. Servo saver spring goes in here. And now servo saver nut. Okay, that's alright, just moves. Days of servo savers, you really don't need them these days. Most of the servos are metal geared, so they're not going to smash apart. Right. Put that here. Ooh. Shows it in the second hole. Alright, we got it in. Now, just move that out. Because I was talking to you, I got this a long way around. So let's undo this quickly. Silly me. There we go. As I've said to you, many of you in the past, doing things live on camera, easy to get it wrong, but also easy to fix. I'd rather leave the mistakes in because it might avoid one of you making the same mistake as me. I only picked it up because there's 3 holes here, 2 on the other one. I thought, that's not right. Won't line up. That's when it all became very clear what I'd done wrong. You do this in the privacy of your own build area, no one will know. Oh,
Privacy?
No. Oh no.
I heard privacy and I had to come in.
Well,
You had me at privacy. Holy moly, last time I was here, there was just a couple of arms swinging around.
yeah. Now. Don't
Oh,
you
hey,
just
TFG.
Oh, look, Z-bends. But that's how it was.
Bloody average system, isn't it?
Oh,
I'm
no,
just glad that the geometry is the same and we can keep it that unfair Z-bend
That's right,
conversion
I've
kit.
forgotten about those. The ones that the boys in Perth did.
Yeah.
And that's a fine thing.
Do you want me to see if I've got one? I'll throw it on.
Have a look. You go and have a look. Because that way I can get rid of you again.
Either that. No, what we'll do actually,
No,
I won't buy another one. I'll take one off the I'll take the one off the 870, and we'll instate it on this one.
Okay.
Because the 870 is retired now.
Yeah.
Done its course.
But it's retired nobly.
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 A noble
because
steed indeed.
It's done a fine thing.
Did us proud.
It did us
So your
proud.
steering posts and servo savers. Hey, only a blast from the past.
Oh.
Servo savers.
I was just saying, you don't need a servo. I've just said, Metal Gear servos, you don't need servo savers.
The modern servos are so strong, aren't
Yeah, I mean,
they? They really are.
if you break it, you've got other concerns.
Yeah, I mean they do fail after time. There's no doubt the gears and stuff do wear in them,
Yep.
and they can lose like their central point. But they're
Yeah.
so much more reliable than the old
Oh.
ones. Going back to the 1001 FETs and stuff.
Oh,
And sure, the gears might have been strong, but you just didn't know whether it was ever actually going to work.
yeah.
you turn the car on with your fingers crossed every time.
Always fun. Always fun. What is this? An M3x8? Yes, it is. What a surprise. Just going to
Get that started.
get that sucker on. I keep dropping things today.
Do you?
Yeah. Mainly
You're all thumbs.
Mainly Eclipse.
All thumbs.
Oh boy,
Did you shoot any Eclipse across the studio?
I did not.
No?
I did not, but I definitely given it that most of them have dropped on my guts.
It's lucky that you've got that little veranda, isn't it?
Yeah, without that veranda over the tool shed, I would be in trouble.
Veranda over the tool shed.
Yeah, well, I think I've got that. So, well, that's not big enough.
Well,
I hear that so often. It's all right.
you might just have to reef on it with the pliers, huh?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Have you done the shocks yet? I'm looking for the shocks.
I've already casually mentioned to the good people that someone accidentally built some shocks.
Because you hate doing shocks on camera. Did you leave one to do?
I left one to do, the same as what we always do, because that's the fair way to do it. But I think the people understand. It's building shocks is a long process. It's not exciting. Once you've seen one, you don't need to do any more.
Yeah.
So
a lot of shocks of different shocks do have their idiosyncrasies. But yeah, once you've done one, you can do the other 4.
yeah.
So the other 3, even.
So
the other 3.
No, this is the rare 5-shock edition.
5-shock edition.
91.
Well, they actually used to at one point. Remember the iteration of this car, the on-road version. They had a little
shock
damper unit on the top deck.
On the top deck. Yeah. And exactly.
I'm not sure if the buggy did, but the on-road car definitely
Yeah, I did.
did.
Yeah, I did the tiny little. I think was it called a VCS shock or something? I can't remember.
They did some weird things with shocks, didn't they?
Yeah,
Yokomo?
they
had those tiny little ones.
Yeah.
On the YRF.
Yep.
YRF.
YRF2SP. I have one of those. I think I actually have 2 of those.
Yeah, you've had it in the studio before.
I have. That's why I brought it in.
We'll have to
And
reinstate one.
And they're a very special thing. For those that don't know, it was a one-off.
A bit like 70s porn.
Yeah.
Got a bush for you.
Yeah. It was a limited edition.
Is there washers on the top and the bottom, or am I just making
There's
things
washers
up?
definitely on the bottom. See, this is what happens when I start talking to you about other things. You don't need to apologise. Yeah, the YRF2 was a special edition front wheel drive. That doesn't fit on there. It surprises me. M3 washer, it should. Yeah, it's got a bit of a shoulder to it. No, that's where it rests on, that's alright. Yeah, YRF2 SP was a special edition front wheel drive car for Yokomo. Very limited numbers. and a weird ass car.
Wasn't it?
They were absolutely weird ass cars, and there's been these rumours persist over the years that Masami was so quick with it that he was quicker with than the four-wheel drives. And
probably back then at those times, I'd believe that.
Yeah.
He was a bit of a wizard, wasn't he?
If he comes here for the bash, we need to ask him.
When he comes here for the bash?
Oh, sorry.
In November.
Vintage bash. Not sure when next year. This year. Sometime. I just have to lift my shirt up here, which not too far. Not too, or you'll get excited again. So that the bash, which is what we're building this car for, will be on probably October. I'm going to guess. I'm going
probably
to say
a little bit closer to the Worlds, I'd say.
Yeah. So
if I was a gambling man.
Yeah.
Which I'm not.
I don't know about Masami coming, but it's possible he has shown an interest in it. But we've definitely got...
Are you going to name drop?
I'm going to name drop at Tsushihara, multiple world champion.
Hara-san.
We've already... That's what he calls me. He calls me Tony-san.
Tony-san.
Yeah.
That's a term of endearment, isn't it? I think that they're... Or uncle.
Oh, I think he just didn't know the English for shit face. It's possibly that.
I'm surprised he didn't send you a rider.
Yeah.
I think he was known back in his day, to be a little bit hard to work with. But I'm sure he's mellowed out in his age.
He's also married now.
Is he?
Yes.
Who's the lucky fellow?
Yeah, well, apparently that's not the case.
Really?
Yeah. Be careful here. There's a possibility of...
That could be wrong?
We could be completely wrong. But
okay.
Certainly talking to him on the weekend, he's really good. Super massive vintage fan. Absolutely massive vintage fan.
And to be fair, he loves his crap RC cars.
Yeah, because he's drove enough of them.
And I'm saying that like lunch boxes, grasshoppers. He plays the soccer league thing, doesn't he?
Yeah. I'm going to say what it is. What it showed to me was he's a guy who just likes playing with toy cars.
Yeah.
And he's so keen to come all the way to Australia just to run in this, and he's trying to talk a whole lot of other people into coming as well. So that's a good thing. So Mr. Hara, I salute you, sir, and we will see you here in October. I think the deal is I believe what the bash organisers are trying to do is set it up so that it runs the week after the 10 scale off-road world, which is the end of September, first week of October, so that some of the factory teams can come down to Melbourne from Sydney to compete in the Vintage Bash. And that would just be amazing. Certainly, I know the associated team are very keen. So,
well, they would be. They've got a few vintage releases that they could run. Crikey. Yeah, how would they even choose one from their catalogue? They could have one in each heat and still not get through their catalogue.
I'm thinking that's the reason why they're keen, because they know they've got a lot of RC10 re-rees that they need to sell off, but certainly Spencer Rivkin is the main driver behind this, and
Spency.
Brian Kinwald was very much his mentor, and he has some of Brian's cars, so he wants to drive one.
Can I just point out that some of these turnbuckles are facing different ways? It does my head in.
Does it?
Yes.
They're not.
They're not. The back ones are.
The back ones are both facing. That's because when I built them, I thought it was the other way around, and I thought, yeah, they're the other way around.
So you can just take an edgeway guess with the steering ones.
Yeah. But I had set it up, but because I got these wrong, I thought, it doesn't matter. I can just flip it all around, and that's fine.
Yeah.
It is, apart from the turnbuckles. So I did. So.
Yes, it's funny because my HR1 buggy is the same and it does my head in.
Does it?
Yeah.
Who built your HR1 buggy?
Mama-san in Taiwan.
Okay.
That comes pre-assembled.
It does. Hang on, is that the one I've pulled apart and put back together 4 times?
Yeah, but you haven't taken the turnbuckles
off. No, I haven't.
Because the turnbuckles are threaded, because they're reverse thread. You can't just rebuild them.
That's annoying.
That's very annoying.
That's annoying.
The one side of the car's one way, the other side of the car's the other way.
Yeah. I always forget anyway. But you're right. I normally set them up so they're all exactly the same. And if you turn that round, they are.
They are indeed.
Yeah. Funny that. Anyway, back to where I was. I was here, and I was putting these on. And I explained to the good people how I've already pre-assembled all my turnbuckles. They go there and there. So that should.
Nothing like a good Yokomo turnbuckle.
Turnbuckle, that's right, because that's what it says on all the parts. Turnbuckle.
Well,
And
I'm
amuses
going to
me
leave.
great.
I have annoyed you much then, distracted you a little bit.
That's all right.
I'll come back after and check.
Well, next time we come back, it's going to be pretty much done.
Keep up the good work,
There's not a whole lot. Oh, you've annoyed me
You're
so
loving
much,
it.
I need a Coke.
You need a Coke break.
Yeah, I need a Coke
You take care, my man.
Right. M3 by 12. Oh, I've already lost my plot. There they are. Push that a little bit too far through. We just need to back it off a bit. That's better. Brad only comes in the studio because he knows that it puts me off, which it does. And I make way more mistakes when he's sitting here. It's not like I need his help to make mistakes. I make plenty of my own accord. By the way, what I said before about the simplicity of this car, I stand by. It is just so simple compared to modern builds. I really like that. I think that's partly why I'm so keen to have a drive of the car, to see what it drives like compared with the modern car. I'm sure it's not as good. But I wonder how much better is it. I'm struggling to get the pliers in, so I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way. Like that. Well, anyway, we'll find that out soon enough. We are, of course, relying on the body shell being painted. And I think most of you know who's going to end up doing that. That'll be me. It's up over there with a sign on it reminding me to take it home. So you may have heard earlier, I'm actually not rostered on today. I just came in purely to finish this off. So as soon as this is done, in the next 45 minutes or so, I will nip home and I will take that body shell with me. Won't be getting painted today. It's got another one in front of it, which is the special project car I've been working on. Well, myself and Tim Keeler. And the project car is a Yokomo RS 2.0 four-wheel drive touring car. It's referred to by us as the Junior Burger touring car. The MS 1.0 is the Big Mac, or 2.0 soon. And I'm just building that up to see if I can turn it into a competitive front-wheel drive car. And so, while we haven't actually run it yet, early indications are that it might be a little bit of a weapon. So I need to paint the body shell for that before we can test it. So that's my next body shell paint. Then this one. Okay. Steering links are on. This is the the link to the servo. I'll just clip that on and then that'll be done. Sorted. Now if we go through some more stuff here. How very convenient. How very convenient that I've got a bag here full of shocks. explained to you before, building shocks, it's okay. But do you want to see me build 4 of these? Nah, you don't. So, I did, first thing this morning when I did all the turnbuckles, I also did the shocks. I've done 3, I'm going to put 1 together now just to show you how it goes together. Already put the adjuster nut onto the shock body and moved it all the way up there, because quite often, and I'm not sure if it's the case with these shocks or not, I didn't even bother to try. Quite often you go to put it on afterwards and you can't get it past the lower shock cap. So my advice, put it on first, make it the first thing you do. Now I also know I've got to have a little O-ring on here to seal the lower shock cap. Yeah, there should be an upper one here somewhere too. Unless I've left it back in the bag. Where the hell's that going to? Not sure. There it is. Wow. It's caught up inside here. Who would have thought that? I can see it. I just can't get it out. Whoa. Actually no, that's not it. That's just some crap. That's a little bit of crap. Thought that was the shock O-ring, but it's not. Just check to make sure it hasn't secreted itself somewhere in here. Possibly got caught up one of these. There it is. That goes over the top. Here's a little bit of care here. I don't want to destroy it. It will stretch quite a fair way. There we go. I do these now, just you don't want to be messing around with this later. You want it done. I've also put the piston already onto the shaft. Again, something that most of you will already know about. So I'm happy to have done that before. That's good. Now, let's put some O-ring grease, a little bit on the inside. Now I'm going to do the same there. Shock collar goes in. Again, a little bit more grease. One more. That's good. Bottom shock cap on. Do this up. There we go. That's easy. Now, because I've already done the other ones, I know that we need spacers in here. So those spacers are now on. Now, before I push this through, I'm just going to roll it in there. In the shock grease container. That's going to protect the O-rings when I push through. Find heat there. Just go through gently, wiggle it a little bit just to help it find its way. If you've got the grease on the end, you'll find that it pushes through relatively easy. Done that, pull it right through. Now I'm just going to wipe a little bit of the stuff off. Now, what I always do, you don't have to if you don't want to, but it's what I do. once I've got this through, I'm going to push this up and down a couple of times and then flex it side to side all the way around as I'm pushing. What I'm doing here is centralising the shaft and the O-rings and the collar so that everything's centred and it should operate smoothly, and it does. As it is now, that's quite nice. We'll put this away because otherwise I'll end up sticking my fingers in it at some stage, which Brett seems to like to do. That's up to him. Alright, that's all good. Now, I'm going to put the end on. Now's when the JP shock pliers really come into their own, because I can clamp down on that and I know that it's not going to damage the shock shaft. Now, Yokomo give you an accurate length as to how long these shocks should be. We'll be going back and doing a proper setup on these later, so I'm not going to worry, but it will give you the length between here and here. That's something you need to know. So we're good now. I've got the shock oil. This is the kit supplied shock oil, 300 weight. Probably around about what I would have put in anyway. Now I've filled that up nearly to the top. Now we're just going to go up and down slowly a few times, and you may have seen there that the oil levels dropped hugely because the piston was stopping most of the oil going through. Now we're getting to the point where I'm going to hold that. Yeah, you can see that. Excellent. That feels really nice. That's pretty good. Now, these are a little bit fiddly to get right, these. There's no bleed screw in the top, no bladder, so they're... the other three I managed to get them pretty well now. Because normally I would let this sit for probably an hour or so, and just occasionally giving it a bit of up and down movement, and that lets to get all the air out. We don't have time for that now. So you screw the top on, and it's really, really light. It's not tightened up at all. Then push the shock piston in and then tighten it. Now you will probably get a little bit of oil out. In this case we haven't. Now I'm pulling the shock in and out. Now there should be no rebound. It should stay wherever it was at the end or the beginning of the stroke, and it has, so that's not too bad. It feels pretty nice. We'll put the spring on and the bottom collar. We're going to call all those shocks done. They're good. Let's get out the shock pliers and put all the ball ends in. I need a tool like this for E-clips. Just saying. Again, I push that one right through. I don't know my own strength. Just back up a little bit, TFG. There we go. The 4 shocks done. Let's turn to the next page where we can put them on the car. This is the best part, because it's actually going to become a car. So we'll do the rears first. Second hole in, and Just gonna screw it in a little bit. Checking to make sure I've got everything correct. I need some more bits. Where's the upper shock ball ends? Bag 5. Bag 7. Ah. There they are. I knew I'd seen them somewhere. Just going to insert all these straight away, which means by the time I get around to doing the front shocks, the front collars will probably have fallen off, but that's alright. Up. Remember, I've left the bottom mount loose for the moment. I just put it in there just to line it up preliminary. Now I'll do it up tight. I said that to remind myself. Now don't mess with me. That's in, that one's up there. Line that up. One little M3 screw. Right, it's not a screw, it's a nut. What are you talking about? It's a bit warm in the studio here. I've got a little fan here even to keep me cool. Now, according to the instructions at this stage, the top deck would already have been on, but I've left it off and just skipped to doing other things. But it's going to go on next. Right, rear shocks on, the front shocks go in the middle, the inner hole. Put that on. Very much getting to the end of this build, which is kind of disappointing. I have enjoyed it. My first encounter with the YZ-091 after seeing them for so many years. I never would have thought I'd be building one, let alone getting to drive it. Okay. I have to say, it's been a pretty good build. There's nothing that I really hated apart from the Eclipse. But they serve a purpose, I suppose, and they're affordable, they're cheap. Shocks on, and because I've got the shocks on, that entitles me to a Coke Zero Sugar. Belt tensioner and the upper deck are in bag 8. Well, the upper deck's not in bag 8. The upper deck is here. One only upper deck. Let's get all this stuff out. You can see the bits we've got here. That's how close we are to the end. That's servo horn, we won't be needing that. Servo mount. Just all these bits out. Wiring, it doesn't want to come out. I'll put those back into there. Now, if you like the look of one of these cars, well, either this car or any of the range of vehicles that we have here at Hearns, but you just get saying, nah, I don't want to build that. Well, I want one, but I don't want to build it. Well, you have the option. We do have a service here at Hearns called the Hearns Premium Build, whereby you can get a car like the Works 91, any of the Yokomo range, or even you want a Tamiya kit but you don't want to build it yourself. The Hearns Premium Build can take care of that for you. We'll have it available very soon. It's not online yet. You'll be able to get one of us, probably me, but also Brett will be doing some too. And with the Hearns Premium Build, you can get it built to any level you want. You can have it just as a roller like this. You can have it to the point where all the electronics and everything are in. You can just get it to any level you want, and if you want, you can get the body shell painted by me. And that's a little bit pricier than most things, but you want me to do it, that's what has to happen. It costs a bit of money because it's a long process. But if you just want a simple car built, we can do that for you, no problem. All the information for that will be available on our website soon. It's not at the moment, but it will be soon. Anyway, back to the build. We've got to do the belt tension. It's a tiny little thing. Oh my God, it wouldn't tension anything. It's an M3x10 button head screw. Just going to check that one. Yeah, that's not an M3x10. I used to be so good at picking those. Now, there's a tiny little shim. It actually says sim in the instructions, which amuses me. There it is, tiny little sim. And go in and screw that in. It's pretty agricultural belt tension, but that'll do the job. Alright, so that's done. And that goes in this way. So you can see it there, that's where it goes in underneath. And it's held in by an M3x6 from the top. There's the belt tensioner that's on. I'm just going to do a quick check to make sure I've got that oriented correctly, and it is. Just see it there where it's sitting nicely on the upper belt. So that's all good. We've got M3x8 countersunks on the front. Don't crank on these too hard because the plastic here is relatively soft, isn't it? Particularly you don't want to be using a power screwdriver in this area. Just get it to the point where it's snug and leave it like that. I'm looking across here to the rear, and the rear is also M3x8. But I'm not going to do the rear ones, I'll do the ones that go into the middle bulkhead first. These are M2.5 by 14, so they're long ones. That's these ones here. This is a 2.5, I'll need different size screwdriver. That's this one. That's done. And 3x8s again. Now, I don't remember how the servo was held in the original Works 91. I suspect it isn't exactly the same as what this one is. Just had a quick look earlier and it looks like it's a full floating servo setup. It might be, or it might not be. I don't have a servo to put in right now, but we can still put it all together. There it is, and goes that way. Tiny little M3x5s. Mount goes here. These will all have to come out when we actually put a servo in the car, but for now, they can just go in. And this gets attached to the chassis with an M3x6 at the front. Okay. Let's get M2x6 ready. For the final installation of this, I will probably thread lock it, but for now, I'm just going to leave it. Another M3 That's all done. What have we got next? Well, I'm not putting a motor in now, or an antenna, or any of that stuff, or the antenna mount. We'll leave all that off. What's next is the battery holder.
You can't still be going on.
I can still, but look!
Is it a buggy?
What did you say about buggery?
No, a buggy.
Oh, okay. I'm going to say
that feels really nice compared to the 870C, where it was really oversprung. Can I put the wheels on?
Yeah.
Yeah?
What?
That's one of my favourite things.
Hang on. Oh, it should be.
Where's my 8 wheel nuts?
Well, it's not 8 wheel nuts. Well, there is, yes. There's 8 screws.
That'll do. I don't need 8 of them.
This is bag
3 by 8.
Hang on, have we opened up bag 9 yet?
Oh.
I'm not sure.
Bag 9, that's my favourite bag. Bag 10's pretty good, the wing mount.
There isn't.
Oh, servos.
I actually think we've got a lot of little screws here. No,
we don't have 8.
No, we don't have 8, so they're not the ones.
I've just thrown you into disarray, haven't I?
No, I was already in disarray, that'd be it. I was already.
You were looking at it upside down.
I thought that was bag 6.
Yeah, see?
You want me to cut that open?
Right.
Brett isn't allowed to use knives.
Not allowed. Blood does ensue.
Yeah, and it's not always yours.
And it's not.
That's the problem.
And nor am I allowed to use an airbrush in your presence.
No.
Because I'm sure that you will find it
I would be
confronting.
Well, I'd be
at least.
I'd be offended by it the same way as you are offended by some of the way that I assemble things. but that's okay. I've said that before. You and I both have our idiosyncrasies. Yeah. Yours is not airbrushing.
No.
Mine is not necessarily mechanical. But you have a long association with mechanical things.
I do. I'm like very hands-on.
Yeah.
Is that right?
That's nothing to do with mechanical things.
No,
that's just what the judge said about you.
Yeah. Somebody give this man a hobby.
And you said, but I've got one. I said, no, not that one anymore. I'm getting excited now.
I love it when wheels go on.
Yeah, wheels go on is what...
Did you notice that the tyres were already on the wheels?
Yes.
That's like step 1.
That's
step 1.
You did
and the reason I do that is actually to give more space in the box.
Is it?
Because...
I thought you just liked doing it.
Well, I do, but... And did we talk about the tyres?
No, I haven't. Well, because I haven't put them on. Did we? I think we did. No, we did in the unboxing. Go back and look at Hearns Life.
Did the unboxing, didn't we?
Yeah. Just for a minute there, I thought you put the wrong ones on, but you hadn't.
No.
It was because of where your hand was. It looked
That's
like you
right.
had skinny ones.
That's right. I love just coming in and just completely throwing your...
Yeah.
Hey?
But you don't need to throw it because I do it myself.
Just throwing your whole thing into disarray. You're
But
along.
I can sit and have a drink while you're doing that.
While I'm doing this, making noise. Is the camera still going? Yeah, everything's still going. Everything's still on.
That's a surprise because I set it up.
It's good, isn't it?
And it's a technical thing.
You are a skilled man.
There's a number of things I can do badly.
Is there?
Oh, surprisingly so.
Look at that.
Look at that.
That's a buggy.
I'm not going to put the under tray on because I'm taking that home.
We've got a bind.
Have we?
You've clearly got a bind.
Have we?
What's happened here?
Okay. Whoa!
There's definitely a bind.
There's much binding.
I thought maybe the dog. Anyway.
That feels like there's something in there that's binding.
It's jammed.
It's jammed.
It's jammed.
You've got to pump up the jam.
Oh.
No, we'll fix that later.
I reckon the hexes.
I reckon that, yeah.
I reckon the hexes could be the wrong way around.
Yeah. I don't think it's a
That's what you get for rushing in.
Yeah. Well, I've said to the good people that while they're watching that there'll be many things that go wrong that we'll edit out and they won't see.
They won't see.
But
we pride ourselves.
Yeah.
On doing things wrong.
What I probably shouldn't have. I've been talking up the Hearns premium build, which is probably probably not optimum given what.
No, but we will ensure that their cars are nice.
Yeah.
Our cars are always nicer on the track.
Yeah, because their car.
I'd go as far as to say we do have some of the best mechanically prepped cars on any given track.
Yeah, apart from mine.
At least once. Well, at least it was built right.
Yeah, I built right.
Even Timmy's RS1, that was built right once.
Yeah, but and that's why he hasn't pulled it apart.
In 3 race meetings.
It works. I'm never ever going to touch it. So I didn't even look what screws that go here, but I'm pretty confident given these are the only ones left.
The only one. That's a good thing when you get to the end of the kit, though, is that it's the last of. No, it's the last of stuff.
I built a Lego coffee machine on the weekend. You
Lego?
might have seen. Yeah.
I did see. Was it Lego?
It wasn't actually Lego. It's a pseudo Lego thing. It came with 8 bags of stuff and no instructions as to where the parts were in any. So you had to search through every single bag.
Did you find that fun? I don't have the patience for that.
No, I didn't either. My wife will attest to that. And the things were like half Lego size, and with big sausage fingers, that's not much fun. It took me 9 hours. And I invented a number of new swear words.
You're blessed. 9 hours.
Yeah.
I would have had 9 minutes.
It was.
I just don't have
it's
the
great
patience.
Now that it's done, and it's really cool and funky, but.
You know that I'm really into a bit of IKEA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you go shopping and that's an experience, and you get your hot dog on the way out.
Yeah.
You get the hot dog on the way in, and then get the ice cream on the way out.
Then you go home and your wife gets a hot dog.
And then you go home and then you get to build and tinker for the next couple of hours, no? And make stuff. And it feels like, oh, I made that. You didn't really.
It is, yeah.
You just assembled it.
But it doesn't matter. I used to get stuff like that, the Chinese stuff. My stepson is Chinese and an engineer. I used to give it to him. Here, come on, engineering boy.
Well, that's the other thing, is that they have brilliant manuals in the fact that they have absolutely zero words in there, because they're just done completely out of, can I say pictures? Animation?
Well, as you well know, in my previous life, I was a
animation expert,
a technical illustrator, and I always used to say to my guys, I want someone to be able to assemble this without reading anything. If they can't, then you haven't done the job well.
I'm concerned why we got. Oh no, the O-rings are for the. I know what they're for. The O-rings are for the battery stoppers.
Yes.
That is the same battery holder as in the, and I'm sure with this you could do a saddle pack if you were really that excited for vintage stuff. Yeah. I'm sure you could do a saddle pack. I'm sure you could change the electronics to the other side. No? Maybe. The world is your oyster.
I don't like oysters.
Really?
No.
But you like worlds.
I like worlds. So, you know.
Worlds are this year.
They are.
We're going to have we're going to have a tranny road trip. And by that, I mean transit van.
Transit van.
Just clearing the air.
Yeah. Well,
well, I'm not saying there won't be a trip to Oxford Street, but...
You know what?
I'm calling it done.
I'm calling that done.
I'm calling it done.
I'm calling that D-U-N done. Apart from that weird...
All we've got to do now...
We'll fix that.
...is got to find somebody who can paint the body.
Yeah, I've already mentioned that there's the sucker that works here who's going to paint it.
Yeah? And it is a great looking shell, no?
Is it?
It is.
I mean, what I like is it's probably the same guy that did the YZ-10, and he's probably got beaten about the head and said, "Don't do that again."
Don't do that again.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like flat, like a spaceship,
Yeah,
isn't it? What do they call this? A cockroach. Was that the cockroach car? But
I don't know about
yeah,
that.
I think it is. I think that's what they referred to as the cockroach shell, because it was like flat and squashed and like the top force.
You just
super low profile.
You just like saying cock.
Roach.
Right. Yeah. I'm going to put those screws in here before I lose them.
Well, I'm super excited, TFG.
I'm beyond excited.
I think you smashed that one out the park.
Yeah, and I came in on my day off to do it.
We're gonna just do a body for it, get it prepped up. Beautiful, beautiful new hot laps. These feel far better than the 870C. I wonder if they did change compound. Surely not. They must have, because the 870C felt horrible.
Yeah. No, I think these are more modern. I think
Definitely more modern.
I mean, I don't know.
Springs feel way nicer. Once we get the
Once
preload on
with
there,
electronics in this, I think that's not too bad.
I think it's a good thing,
I'm impressed.
and I think you nailed it. Looks so good with the top deck, doesn't it?
It does. You always need an upper decker.
Fantastic.
Look at that.
Well, you are Tony Gray, and I'm Brett.
And we're done.
We are done.
I'm finished.
I've interrupted,
You've interrupted a number of times.
and you've finished.
We're done. We can pack that up. I can go home and cry a little bit, maybe.
We'll take that body with you and start masking.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Thanks very much.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching.